I want to tell you about a fun project that I just finished. Well, I don't know, I don't know if it's called a project, but basically a Patreon session I did with Sarah Dyer, or did one of her Patreon sessions, and it was so much fun. I did it last night, and I thought I cannot wait to tell my YouTube people about it because they're gonna love it. But I first need to, I'm grabbing them right now. I first need to give you a little backstory about where the inspiration for these drawings came from. My allergies are super bad right now. I've been off my allergy meds for a week. I'm surprised that I'm even able to be in the light and talk to you. So sorry I'm extra scratchy. In fact, let me grab my water. I don't know if this is gonna help at all, but let's just try it. Okay, what was I saying? So Sarah Dyer shared a kind of a sketchbook, not even a sketchbook. She pulled out some old sketches from back when she was in school, some figure work, and shared, she had two different teachers that taught two completely different ways, and she shared the work from those. And for me, it was crazy inspiring. She had one teacher that was very precise. I loved the way she worked under that teacher, but then there was another teacher she had who was always like pressing the boundaries and making them do crazy stuff. And so the figures were all wonky, lots of color involved, changing the color up as she drew the figure, and she also did it on colored paper. I remember like pushing pause, and I went to the computer immediately to Blick because I was like, I have got to have colored paper right now. This is inspiring me so much. But then I was like, oh yeah, I have a big stash of colored paper for my nieces and nephews and other kids when they come over to paint. I was like, I'm just gonna raid that. So I like frantically raided. She had some done on this maroon paper that I was like, I've got to paint on maroon. And I didn't really have any good maroon paper. I was thinking about painting some paper, but anyways, I just thought, no, I know this is a Patreon session. We're gonna be drawing figures, and it's gonna be fast paced and So I thought, let's not spend time painting on paper. Let's just use this cheap paper. Most of it was just literally cheap colored paper. I feel like there's a name for it, but basically like kids craft paper, really cheap. I'm positive not acid free. And then I did have some other nicer paper, but it was like bumpety, kind of had a texture to it. I still just used it anyways because there was like one maroon. Did I do any on the maroon? I don't think I did any. I did one on the maroon, and it didn't turn out too good because it was a longer timed sketch. Anyways, so I was inspired by her Patreon video that she shared about her work from school. Then the next week we were having a Patreon drawing session together to do figures, and I thought, I know exactly how I'm going to tackle this. We could do whatever we wanted, but she supplied the photos. They were great photos. We were all like gasping every time she turned a different one on, like a lot of men with like beard hair and chest hair and great body shapes. It was just really, really fun. Old crankety men and stuff like that. Anyways, it was a very fun session. It was fast paced, and we were all just, you know, cranking it out. Okay, let me show you these fun sketches. I mean, I've probably built it up too much. It's not, you know, these were quick, like 3-minute, 5-minute sketches. They're not great, but they were super fun to do. Okay, let's just get to it. Holy moly. Sometimes I'm sorry. I yap so much sometimes. All the time. Sorry. Let's look. At least there was no singing, right? Okay, I'm basically going to try to do these in the order that we did them. This was 3 minutes, so this is probably my worst one. Oh, he wasn't an old man, but he did have kind of scruffy beard, so you'll see like I did a lot of beard stuff. So this is probably my worst one, but I do like that fun ear. And I was trying to just be real thoughtful about changing the color up as I went along. One of the things that was so nice about this is I didn't know what the colors that I was using, like in the oil pastel or whatever, what it was going to look like on the actual paper, because it kind of changes. So that was super fun. But you can see even like with the eyes and stuff, I'm trying to change the colors. Again, just super quick one. This guy was bald, but then he had like some, you know, head hair popping up a little bit, like little things. So that was fun to capture. He had kind of a bigger baldness than what I gave him, but And then I like his wonky glasses. Okay, this guy. I really liked this one too. He was fun. I love how this one turned out. I think that gray and pink look so nice together. That one makes me happy. Another 3-minute. This was a lady. I do like the color choices in this, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think seeing them all together is really fun. I'm hoping at the end I can get like some kind of shot of all of them. This was a guy drinking some coffee. Probably not my favorite one, but he was an older man if I remember correctly and had some scruffy white hair. So that was fun. Oh, this next one. This guy was really old, but I made him look about, 45 when he was much older. Again, another fun one. Oh, this one, I think I rubbed some pastel, some soft pastel first. I tried to think about doing that, some underlayers, but I didn't. I was usually in like frantic mode. Ooh, I like this next one. Okay. Oh, this one was a 5-minute, and here's another 5-minute. Oh, don't those colors make you happy? I mean, how about the beard scruff? Hello. Happiness there. The hair, the red glasses. Oh, it was fun. That one makes me really happy. Let me put that one up on the wall. Okay, this next one was fun too. This was another 5-minute. Okay, I don't know if you can see right here. Well, I'm sure you can. I first started laying some soft pastel down. I thought I would put his head here. I was kind of just laying it out with some soft pastel and rubbing. But then I could tell by that I didn't like the position because I wanted to get his legs in. So then I moved him up here, and I love how little bits like that will kind of stay in your painting, and I think it adds to it. I really like this one a whole lot. Then, let me move these out of the way. We were going to do some longer ones with people. So all these were people in cafes. I forgot to say that. So this was a full scene of 2 people sitting at a table. So I had the idea to glue some paper together, and I love how this turned out. It was 10 minutes. I wish we had 20 on this. I think it looks like I started off on this lady, realized I was running out of time and barely got him in. And it was funny, somebody made a comment of, at some point when the time was almost out, they said, does anybody else regret starting on the tiles? There was some really interesting background, and somebody was like, I'm just doing the tiles. I haven't even gotten to the people yet when the time was almost out. But a lot of them had plates, and it was really fun to like put some food in. Super, super fun. I love doing ears and noses like in bright colors. And oh, this to kind of define his head in this smudgy. At this point, my fingers were super messy from the oil pastels, and I love not wasting material, whether it's on my brush or my hands. So I just used my dirty fingers and kind of carved in and added some interest back there. This next one was another double spread. Again, it was just 10 minutes, and I spent more time on this painting that was in the background instead of the figures. I knew with everything in me that I wanted to get that picture in and the clock, and there was some neat tile work back here, but I didn't spend as much time on the figures, and that may be okay. I think it could have been more interesting. I think I'm going to go back and do this one again. These were 2 different tables at the same restaurant, and they both had these triangle napkins, which were really fun, and the fork was fun. It was fun once you got kind of big shapes in, and then all of our eyes would start noticing different things on the tables, and we'd be shouting stuff out like, oh, look at him holding a burger, or look at that neat ketchup bottle. And then we'd all be like frantically sketching it. Okay, then Sarah gave us 20 minutes, which I should have stopped at 10 for this one because it was really good at 10 minutes. And then I stopped before 20. That's why it says less than 20. Everything's fine, except I had the extra time and started working on his face. Again, trying to use like different colors, and that just didn't go well at all. But the sign was really fun. A lot of people put the signs in, and some of the signs like talked about eggs and bacon and stuff, and I wish I'd put that in. But these bottles were super fun. Oh, I did use a little soft pastel here. At this point, like I said, I had a lot of time, so I was like overworking it, but still a lot of fun. And the maroon paper, this one is done just on like really cheap black paper, which is already faded. It kind of looks purpley. 5 minutes. This guy was real scrappy looking. I knew he was either going to look really scary in people's sketches or really great. And most everybody like nailed it. And then this was like a big sugar container, which was so fun. Like that's my favorite part of this whole thing. He was reading the paper. I don't know, just a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to try to get a shot with like all of these in there so you can kind of see them as a whole. And after even just showing y'all this, it makes me want to go sit down again and do these. So I may go do that right now. I've inspired myself. I hope I've inspired you because I know I've been inspired. I used the colored paper and I first started with some kid tempera things. Hold on. I just grabbed this with one hand. I can't believe didn't all fall. Just these tempera sticks. Oh, what brand is this? Shuttle Art. Anyways. Nothing fancy, super cheap, but it's kind of gouache-like. It's tempera paint, so it's like matte. Started with those, then I grabbed what did I grab? Where are you? Just oil pastels, my Neocolor oil pastels. Here they are. No, not Neocolor. Get your names right, Sandy, Karen, Dash. So that's what I used in these sketches. And I wrote the amount of time on each one. I need to go back and date them because it makes me upset when I don't have the date on them. I also didn't love that they're not in my sketchbook. I really like this kind of stuff in my sketchbook because when they're just loose pieces of paper, they just end up like in a drawer and I never reference them. So somehow I think I'm gonna put them in my sketchbook. I haven't decided how yet. Maybe I'll just glue them or tape them in there. I don't know, or just stick them in the pocket of the back of one. I don't know, but I really loved them. It seemed like the group really liked them too. It was really fun. I'm just gonna go in order of the ones that I did.
Oh, look at them, they're so great.
Oh, nice. I love it.
I really love them.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, these are nice, Sandy.
Oh, I love them.
They are really
They were fun.
Yeah, they're great.
Because I didn't know what the color would look like. You know, whatever I picked up, it looked different.
I like the random colours like green. They are lush.
Yeah.
Is it oil pastel?
Oh, that one's nice. Sandy, that one is my favourite.
Really?
Yeah, so far.
Okay, this is the old one that I've made look like 20. Don't you think he looks young?
Yeah, he's going to be chuffed.
Oh my God.
Oh,
So good.
I love them. Sandy, I wish I'd worked like my 20-year-old
Then I
self.
started gluing the papers together.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Fun.
Oh, so good.
I think this is inspiring.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you said that too early. Are you ready?
Okay, so
This
it's
was
the best
the long one. Man, his face was so good, and then I like took extra. But anyways,
Less than 20 minutes.
Oh, they're fabulous. They're so lovely.
thanks. They were fun. All inspired by you, Sarah. I knew exactly what I was going to do when you said what we were doing for this challenge because I was so inspired by your last Patreon. So thank you.
Thanks. Oh, I feel like
It was fun. As promised, I wanted to show you the artwork I did while we were on our camping trip that I talked about last week. And I have quite a bit of work that I did. I talked about how I worked like a maniac, but there was one really, really large sketch in my A3 Moleskine that I worked on for a long time. A little bit different subject and way of working or style of working than what I usually do. It was quite a bit more detailed. I showed it to my mom and she loved it. She was like, this is probably a little tighter than what you like, but she loved it. So I'm going to wait and show that one to you last. I'm going to start with smallest sketchbooks and move up to largest sketchbooks. These first ones are the Art Creation, I don't even know if you can see that, Royal Talon sketchbook. I will have all the sketchbooks listed below with links. And if you enjoy this video or enjoying this channel, don't forget to subscribe and like and even comment, because it tells YouTube we like this channel. So if you're enjoying the channel, could you please do that? It would be very, very helpful. Okay, let's start with sketches in the car. I took, I think just, what did I take? Watercolor and some color pencils in the car, and just basically took chunks of scenes that I was seeing on the drive and put them all together. It was really fun and it helped pass the time. I'm not used to working so small. This size sketchbook, which is like a, what is this, 5 by, let me just tell you real quick, a little over 8 by 5. It's not my favorite size sketchbook, working small like this, like little tiny houses, but it's good practice. I always enjoy stretching myself. Then let's see, I did this in the car, just playing with my watercolors, basically just a quick little abstract, which is always fun. Then summer trees while riding in the car. I'm glad that I said that because I'm not real sure I would know what this is. I just took my favorite marker, which I know you'll ask me, so here it is. It is the PIGMA SENSEI Sakura 10. I really like that marker. It's smooth, it's nice and black. So I wasn't looking at the page here. Do I need to tell you that? Probably not. I was not looking at the page. I was just looking at trees and capturing shape. And so right here, there's several trees on top of one another. I'm also not showing you these in order of the, me painting them. This is a watercolor. Actually, I have a bunch of materials in this. You got a little peek at this last week in the video. There's all kinds of stuff in this. Watercolor, I can feel color pencils, Neocolor, and I did this from sketches, other paintings that I've done on location at a lake. This was a sketch that I did at a new location, at a new lake I'd not been to, and I really like to sometimes just sketch, just draw, get familiar with the land and the area and the colors. So I will write color notes, yellow tree, there's a very fall looking tree, red roof, what color things this lady that was walking, what she was wearing. And then this will be great later to use as reference to paint from. This feels like maybe just watercolor. Sketch of that lake I did while I was there. Okay, that's all from this one. This one right here is the same size, just different color. Thought I had something in here. I probably should show you these last, but these next, I think, couple are inspired by the big project I did that I'm going to show you at the end. That it has animals, and each animal in this huge spread that I was doing from a Sarah Dyer Patreon. I was trying different methods of laying down material and building up the surface and just experimenting. And so sometimes I would grab a smaller sketchbook and play around because it was very inspiring. I love how this spread turned out. Really fun. It was loose. I think this turned out better than my final spread. And then this was another one where I was playing with layering and just trying to figure things out. There's some parts in here that I really like, so I'm trying to figure out, do I like it in a more simple way? Yeah, there's things here that I really like, and I liked how that Lima, his little body area turned out. Then this was that same kind of thing. I laid down watercolor. These two I finished, but this I started this one the exact same way I started this one. I did this with watercolor. Then I did another layer like this while this one was drying. And then I think I did this little guy right here while I was waiting for all of that to dry. And then was going to do this one later, but never got to it. And I decided to just leave it in that state so not only I could see, but you could see the layering process. I think I could have taken this guy a little further. I do like his different color claws though. But again, this was just a quick little, let me try to figure out my materials and how I want to layer. And that's it for this one from the trip. Let me go grab the next bigger size up. Okay, this one is in the same brand as those other sketchbooks, the Art Creation. And there's only one in this sketchbook. It is of that lake that I went to. I think I was getting tired and was gonna layer this more. No, I wasn't getting tired. I put this in like this. I was gonna build it up some more, but ended up liking it like this. Sometimes I like to just leave it because there's things that I want to remember, because I can always just turn the page and do another one. But I loved some things about that background and the colors, just kind of the simplicity also of the composition and the layers. There weren't many boats, which was a little bit of a bummer. I mean, when you go to the lake, you kind of hope to see boats, but there was one, so I sketched him real fast. And that's all I did in this sketchbook for that trip. Then I did this from other sketches. And I forgot to mention, there's one or two paintings that I did on that trip that I filmed for my landscape class. So I won't be showing those here. I'll be showing it in my landscape class. This is one that I did working from other sketches, and again, just playing with layers and colors. And I love the depth of this one and the mark making and the colors. I think it was raining the day that I did this, maybe. I can't remember. I think I may have done this just sitting at the campsite or in the camper, but I'm happy with that one. And that is it in this one. Is it? Yes. Okay, this last one is the one that I worked on for quite a while. This is in my A3 Jumbo Moleskine that I love. This was a Sarah Dyer Patreon session, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't do it exactly like I was supposed to. I'm not going to give it all away, because if you want to go check out Sarah's Patreon, I will link that below. It's not on the lowest tier, but the next lowest tier I think that this session was on. But we did animals. We were supposed to do it on a page that we could fold. It was to teach about composition and to be able to see things in a different way. But I liked it so much this way that I left it, because part of the project was to sketch and paint things up here and then turn it around and do things here. And then you do this kind of complicated fold and cut where it does this really interesting thing. Again, I don't want to give it all away, but while I've got this upside down, I will show you some of these really close. I'm wondering if you feel like they look like they all kind of go together. Each one I did a little different texture. I just kept trying to play with different methods of layering paint. I'm trying to hold this thing. I love this little guy. He's one of my favorites. And I did like the tiger. I did him kind of last, so I was getting a little tired. Well, the Lima there. Let me turn this around. Now, I will say, I mean, I'm happy with this page, but when I got done and looked at the whole thing, like as a whole, the way that I looked at Sarah's finished page as a whole, I was kind of like, oh, I was a little disappointed. It didn't have the oomph that Sarah's did. I told Grady, I said, Sarah's was a lot better. And he said, is this a competition? I was like, no, it's not a competition. I was just really happy with Sarah's and just minimally happy with mine. But you can go do this too. if you go do Sarah's class. I will say some of these trees I was super happy with, and it got me quite excited, the textures that I was able to get with the trees, but I think I got a little busy in the background, and I don't know. I do think I want to do this again because it was so much fun, and I think I want to go even larger paper so I don't feel so fidgety with these animals because they are kind of small for me. Like, I'd rather paint that monkey like as big as this. But you can't if you're going to try to do like the challenge that she has. Let's see. Also on this, I used everything that I took camping with us. There's watercolor, there's color pencils, neo crayons, soft pastels, what else? Ink tints, there's ink, all kinds of stuff. I don't know what you think of this page, but I'm going to tell you the amount of hours that are in this one sketch kind of crack me up. I think most people wouldn't want to waste materials for just something that's going to be on their sketchbook and something they would never sell, but I learned so much from this project, and I took things that I learned from here into my landscape paintings, and which you'll get to see some of that if you take the landscape class. We do this whole paper folding thing in the landscape class because I kind of had this breakthrough moment of how to use that for landscape, and I'm having a blast and actually can't stop doing them. I'm doing so many of them because it's been really fun. This was super fun. Sarah, it was just a great Patreon session. I think it was probably my favorite one I've ever done. And it taught me a lot. That's one of the things that I want y'all to know is like practice like this, painting in your sketchbooks. It teaches you things. It's not a waste at all. Sorry, I paused because I was like, when did I do this? I was looking at that lady. I don't know when I did that, but I learned so much from abstracts and working in my landscape. So anyways, this isn't meant to be a sketchbook tour of this sketchbook. When I finish it, I'll give you the tour. I find these kinds of things just invaluable, and it's just worth taking time to play and to press yourself with different subjects that maybe you're not used to. I have got a sketchbook tour probably next week for y'all because I finished a sketchbook that has the gamut from weird long ago sketches to some of my newer abstract sketches. So I'll be excited to show you that next week. I'll see you back here next week, guys.